Hey everyone, Ashtray here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto Remaster Trilogy rumors. But before we get into that, a little bit of background. Before the big open world games that everyone's wherever, Grand Theft Auto was a top-down game created by DMA Designs and released in 1997, with the gameplay that we're all familiar with, like the wanted levels, police chasing, ramming your vehicles, and various fetch missions that are still a big part of the way the games are made up today. In 2001, Grand Theft Auto 3 launched as the first to be an open-world 3D action-adventure game that had the player controlling the silent protagonist Claude, and quickly became a critical success, receiving rave reviews. The game was set in Liberty City, a version of New York City where Claude has to track down his girlfriend who double-crossed him and left him for dead. Claude works his way up the various contracts while searching for his girlfriend. The radio stations, which we can all remember, were a huge part of the game's appeal, with music from Scarface featured on the flashback 95.6 radio stations to the hilarious banter from Laszlo on Chatterbox FM. Other stations included Head Radio, KJR, Double Clef, and Game Radio, among others. The next to appear was Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which dropped on October 2002, a year after Grand Theft Auto 3. Rockstar North launched Grand Theft Auto Vice City with the setting in 80s Miami, where you play as Tommy Vercetti, who attends a botched drug deal and sees him get shot at, but he manages to get away and decides to find out who was behind the ambushed drug deal. While doing so, Tommy Vercetti works his way up and creates his own empire, very similar to Scarface. Along with the hijacking of cars that get around, this time you can commandeer motorbikes as well. Grand Theft Auto Vice City also had some really memorable radio stations and fun gameplay. After Grand Theft Auto Vice City, San Andreas released in 2004. This GTA was set in San Andreas, a version of California where you play as CJ. CJ returns home from being away for 5 years living in Liberty City to come back to San Andreas to bury his mother. Gang warfare, turf wars are featured as rival gangs fight it out to claim areas. Rockstar decided to introduce RPG elements to increase stamina and muscle, or you could just choose to get fat. Car modifications were also added, and you could drive into a garage and tune up your ride or customize your paint job. Now, if we fast forward to today, the rumors are swelling that Rockstar and Take-Two are working on launching the 3 Grand Theft Auto games as a remastered trilogy using the Unreal Engine. Improved graphics and gameplay, while remaining true to the original games, will be tricky, but it can be done as long as it feels like a current gen game. As stated in the Game Rant article linked below, there are 2 clues that could prove this rumor to be real. Some information has shown up on a Korean ratings board which mentions Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. While this may mean nothing, you've got to ask yourself, why is this a thing at all if they weren't looking at making this game? Any clues to the trilogy have been found on the Rockstar launcher for PC, which seems to point to the game's release, which was slated for this year, but now it looks like to have been moved to 2022. My favourite Grand Theft Auto was Grand Theft Auto 3. I play it almost every year on my OG Xbox and would love to play it on current gen consoles. Which game was your favourite? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.